Уважаемые товарищи,
Today, as part of exercises, we are conducting the first joint training of the Russian and Belarusian armies to manage strategic and tactical nuclear forces. I have already noted, and I will emphasize again, that the use of such nuclear weapons is an extremely exceptional measure of ensuring the national security of our state. It is important to further increase the level of preparation of the strategic and tactical nuclear forces and to develop all their components. At the same time, as I have already said, we do not intend to get involved in an arms race.
After returning from a high-stakes visit to Beijing where he showcased Russia's strategic partnership with China, Vladimir Putin has now ordered sweeping nuclear drills back home, sending a fresh signal to NATO that Moscow is willing to flex its most powerful muscles. Russia and Belarus are openly rehearsing how they would coordinate the use of strategic and tactical nuclear weapons if threats emerge, turning their joint exercises into a real-world playbook for a crisis with the West. Putin insists that any use of nuclear weapons would remain an extremely exceptional measure to protect national security, yet the very fact that he is personally overseeing these drills underlines that the option is being kept ready, not theoretical. At the same time, some 64,000 troops, around 200 missile launchers and roughly 140 aircraft have been put through nuclear strike scenarios, turning vast swathes of Russia and Belarus into a rehearsal zone for atomic warfare. Moscow has also confirmed that nuclear munitions have been moved to field sites inside Belarus, shifting warheads closer to NATO's borders and embedding them in a joint command structure with Minsk. And amid mounting warnings from NATO capitals about the risks of miscalculation, Putin is already looking ahead to Union Shield 2027, the next big Russian-Belarusian exercise where nuclear forces are likely to feature even more prominently.
уважаемые товарищи, добрый день.
Dear comrades, good afternoon. Everyone is in touch. Everyone sees each other. Hears each other? Very good. Dear Alexander Grigorievich, dear comrades, today, as part of the exercises, we are conducting the first joint training of the Russian and Belarusian armies to manage strategic and tactical nuclear forces. I have already noted, and I will emphasize again, that the use of such nuclear weapons is an extremely exceptional measure of ensuring the national security of our state. At the same time, given the growing tension in the world, the emergence of new threats and risks, our nuclear triad, as before, should serve as a reliable guarantor of the sovereignty of the Union State of Russia and Belarus, to ensure the solution of strategic deterrence tasks, to maintain the nuclear parity and balance of forces at a global level. During the joint training, a wide range of tasks will be worked out. First of all, the actions of officials to manage and interact with the use of nuclear weapons, including those placed on the territory of the Republic of Belarus. We will also conduct practical launches of ballistic and cruise missiles today.
Russian President Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, I am glad to see you and the leadership of the armed forces of the Russian Federation. I wish you good health after this difficult week you have had. I know what that is like, especially a trip to the east and the return journey. I congratulate you on your successful visit to our friends in the People's Republic of China. I would also like to welcome all servicemen, generals, members of the General Staff, and everyone participating in today's exercise. Indeed, this is the first such joint exercise, as you said, but in terms of its individual elements and components, our General Staffs and Defense Ministers apparently conduct it on a quarterly basis, but without us. So I thank the military for inviting us. I remember that we discussed back in winter the prospect of presidents participating in these exercises, and then agreed that around this time we would attend this training. Once again, I thank all those who prepared this event and who invited us, me and Vladimir Vladimirovich, to these complex activities. I fully support you. We do not threaten anyone at all, but we have such weapons, and we are ready to defend our homeland in every way possible, from Brest to Vladivostok. That is the only demonstration of power from our side. I think you will agree with that. If we have something in our hands, we must know how to use it. Vladimir Vladimirovich, I also visited all the sites, looked around in Belarus in the east and in the center. Everything is in good condition. Russian generals are present here, with whom I spoke. They are satisfied with our joint work. I think the planned activities will go normally. Naturally, whoever wants to see something in this will see it. But that is our business. We are engaged in a lawful matter, and will continue to do so, protecting the lives of our people. Thank you, Vladimir Vladimirovich. Thank you to the staff of the Russian General Staff, as well as to the defense ministers who are also present here. Thank you.
Let us commence. The floor is now handed over to the Minister of Defense of Russia. Please, Andrei Romovich Belousov.
Yes, Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief. In accordance with the plan for the joint training of the armed forces of the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus, a nuclear forces exercise is underway. The procedure for conducting the exercise will be outlined by the Chief of the General Staff, Army General Gerasimov Valery Vasilyevic.
Please.
Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief, the exercise involves military command bodies, formations, and units responsible for the combat deployment of nuclear weapons of the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus, as well as nuclear support units of the Russian armed forces. Full combat readiness has been achieved, and the delivery and issuance of nuclear munitions to Russian and Belarusian units for their use in combat has been completed. Currently, the troops and forces are prepared to proceed with the second stage of the exercise.
Задачи выполнены полностью.
The tasks have been completed in full. I would like to thank everyone, first and foremost the President of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, and all those who took part in this work and training, the servicemen of the Russian and Belarusian armies, for good organization, competent work, and clear, well-coordinated actions. Such joint work, without a doubt, strengthens our brotherhood and the coordination of military units and formations. It is important to further increase the level of preparation of the strategic and tactical nuclear forces and to develop all their components. At the same time, as I have already said, we do not intend to get involved in an arms race. Our nuclear forces will remain at the level of necessary sufficiency. We are doing everything that was planned exactly decades in advance. We are working in a planned mode, clearly, harmoniously. And, thank God, we are doing well. Within the framework of the state armament program, we are planning to equip the Russian armed forces with new missile complexes, both stationary and mobile. As you know, the Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile has recently successfully passed its tests. It possesses high tactical and technical characteristics and is capable of overcoming all modern and future anti-missile defense systems. We will continue to include modern nuclear submarine cruisers in the Navy, as well as new and modernized strategic bombers in the aerospace forces. We will certainly increase the combat readiness of other types and groupings of troops. We will work out training and combat tasks, taking into account the experience of the special military operation, including this year during joint training and maneuvers. Among them, I would like to highlight the exercises of the Collective Rapid Reaction Forces of the CSTO in 2026 on Russian territory, and the CSTO Peacekeeping Forces exercise, Unbreakable Brotherhood 2026, on the territory of Belarus. In addition, next year we plan to conduct the Union Shield 2027 operational exercises of the armed forces of Belarus and Russia. Such systematic and consistent steps are necessary to strengthen the defense capabilities of our countries and to ensure the protection of the citizens of Russia and Belarus from potential threats from all directions. I would like to especially note the coordinated work of our Belarusian colleagues and friends, partners and allies. Combat aircraft capable of carrying special warheads and the medium-range Iskander systems, which have now been employed competently and in a well-coordinated manner, play a very important role when using weapons of this kind. Every minute, every second counts here. It is precisely to practice this interaction that events such as today's are held. Alexander Grigorievich, thank you very much for your participation, for the training of your servicemen, and for your readiness for joint work. And I ask the Minister of Defense of Russia to convey, as I have already said, my best regards and words of gratitude to the servicemen who took part in today's exercise.